Look, 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 look. What an amazing appearance. What shine, what color, what texture. A flan or cake that turns out perfect, that only needs 3 ingredients. What madness, what an amazing recipe. Today, a banana flan with only 3 ingredients. Look, 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 how wonderful. I have here a super flan that I just made. It's spectacular. And let me tell you, besides being really good, it has some very special ingredients because there are only 3. It's a banana flan that uses banana, milk, and eggs. 3 super simple ingredients that we often have at home, and they give you a wonderful result. Hey, if you have more at home, you can add some liquid caramel or vanilla. You can, but with just those 3 ingredients, you can make a delicious flan without needing to use the oven. Gluten-free and also with no added sugar. Well, if you add caramel separately, yes, but if not, no added sugar either. So it's all advantages. And it's amazing that it turns out so delicious. So let's go for it, because today it's a simple recipe. To prepare it, we're going to need 6 bananas that are soft, 6 large eggs, and 600 milliliters of milk, which is 3 cups. Optionally, we can add a bit of liquid caramel to coat the mold and a tablespoon of vanilla essence, extract, or flavoring. All of this is for a 20-centimeter diameter mold. And now, let's get started with the recipe. The first thing we'll do is cut the plantains or bananas into slices or cubes. So, let's cut the slices in half. Alright, let's go for another one. We remove the peel and cut all the plantains into cubes. We're going to place them in a large bowl. So this one, for example, is perfect for me. Here, we're going to add the 2 remaining ingredients directly. The eggs, 6 large ones, 2 here and 4 over there. If we wanted to make it in an 18-centimeter mold, you could simply do it with 5 bananas and 5 eggs. I'm making it in a 20-centimeter one and adding this. Also, we're going to add milk, in this case 600 milliliters or 3 cups. We'll blend everything until it has a uniform texture. You can do it like this, with a fork, with a food mill, with a blender, whatever you want. We almost have the recipe done, and that's because today it's super easy. But make sure to mash everything really well. It doesn't matter if you use a fork, a food mill, a blender, or a hand mixer. Like I did, any kind of tool will work. The only important thing is to have a little patience so that everything mixes perfectly and you get a completely uniform liquid. And then just enjoy. You know, today we're not using the oven. We're gonna put it in a water bath in a pot and wait. It's that easy. When you have your cream ready, if you want, you can optionally add a flavoring. In this case, I'm going to add a splash of vanilla. I'm telling you, it's optional. You could also add a splash of almond essence, for example, but, well, I think vanilla and banana go great together. If you like spices, you could add a little cinnamon. Like I said, all of these are optional. Here you can line your mold well with parchment paper, that way it won't stick. Remember to put it on both the bottom and the sides. Or you can add a bit of liquid caramel to give it some extra flavor. I'm telling you, this is optional too, but I love it. So since I have it on hand, I add it. I add a splash, and with the help of a spatula, I'm gonna spread it out. I'll make sure to coat both the bottom and sides. See? If you don't add the caramel, remember to put parchment paper so the flan doesn't stick. And then, let's go. We're gonna put our flan inside. Pour in all the liquid. Perfect! We're gonna have a delicious and pretty tall banana flan. If you want, you can divide the quantities. Like I said before, always keeping the proportions. Now we take a pot that's big enough to fit the mold inside so we can make a water bath. Maria, I have one that's the right size. I'll add the water, and what I'm gonna do is set the heat to medium. And while the water is heating up, I'm going to cover the mold where we have our flan. You can do this perfectly if the mold has a lid, but if not, that's okay. You take a piece of aluminum foil, press it a bit against the edges with your hand like this, and it does the same job. So, no problem at all. What we'll do is cover it well, press the edges a little, folding them so that steam doesn't get inside. It's that easy. And with this mold, we go straight to our pot. Off we go. We're gonna put it inside, making sure there's enough water to reach at least halfway up the mold. Then we'll cover our pot and let it cook until when we poke it with a toothpick, it comes out clean, depending on the mold, the size, the pot, etc. It may take more or less time, but at the very least, at least half an hour. And this one, for example, mine, took about an hour to be perfect. Look, when you open it all the way, even if you leave a little crack, some steam always comes out, but that's okay. And now that I think it's done, I'm going to check if it's ready. I poke the center with a toothpick and check that it comes out clean. Clean. Perfect. I already have the flan ready, so I take it out. Since my pot is pretty tight, I'm going to use this glove and a little spoon to take it out without burning myself. Out it goes. Very good. What I'll do now is let it cool down. For that, it's best to leave it on a rack like this. Just leave it here for a little while until the mold has cooled down and you can put it in the fridge to chill. And also, so the flavors can finish coming together. In my case, like I said, it took about an hour to cook, another hour to cool down, and now it's going into the fridge. You can easily make it a day ahead, but 4 hours is more than enough for the flavor to fully come together and for the flan to be perfect. Just like on the internet, time flies. Here it is. Let's take it out of the fridge and unmold it so you can see it. Look, look. Look, I've got it right here. Let's remove this paper since it doesn't do anything for us anymore. And here we have our delicious flan. To make sure the unmolding is perfect, I'm going to run a smooth little knife around the edge. This in theory isn't necessary, but just in case a little piece gets stuck, we make sure, and as you can see, it doesn't take any effort. Now we're going to place the plate where we want to serve our dessert on top and flip it over. Let's see if it doesn't fall. Come on, quickly, we flip it over and here it is. You'll notice how the caramel starts to come out through the edges. And here we have this spectacular flan. Look at how amazing it looks. As I always say, the most important part comes now, which is, just like with people, what's inside. So let's cut this amazing flan. Let's see. I think right here, so you can see a serving, how it looks, and what this spectacular inside is like. It's hard to believe that such a good flan like this only has 3 simple ingredients. Look, how amazing it looks. Here, I'll bring the camera closer for you. Impressive, juicy, set just right, perfect. A banana flan that looks this amazing. Very easy to make, no oven needed, and with just 3 ingredients. I really hope you give this recipe a try because I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. And now comes the best part of the video, the one where I make you a little bit jealous. Look. A flan with the classic texture of an egg flan, but with an even creamier touch. And with the fresh taste of fruit, in this case, banana. Let's try it. I'm taking a big piece because this is a... Oh. It's incredible that something so delicious only has 3 ingredients. It's truly amazing. It's fresh, creamy, it melts in your mouth, and it has a very interesting flavor. I'm telling you, adding vanilla is totally optional, only if you really like it. This is amazing. I'm gonna have some more. I hope you liked the recipe as much as I did, because I'm delighted. A healthy and tasty recipe. How nice. Tell me, down here in the comments, what other recipe would you like me to make? I'm sure your idea is great, and it's even better if it uses just a few ingredients. Also, you can spend some more good time watching this awesome video. Just look at the image. It looks amazing. Or you can click here to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. Turn on the bell and notifications. And every Wednesday and Saturday, you'll get notified that we have a new sweet recipe. And here's my Savory Recipes channel.